Hey everybody, welcome to the Brazos Forager channel, where I'll show you how to get free food that's already available at your fingertips and cultivate the area you've already got so that you can get even more free food. So whether you've got a backyard, a balcony, or a giant mega farm, there's always something you can do. Now, what we're going to do today, I've showed you in previous videos, I've got this hog trap. Those logs on top of it are where I'm going to build a pen for some actual domestic pigs down here. I just didn't want them to wash away if there was a flood. But what I've got a problem with is when I put out the bait for the hogs, a lot of times these raccoons will come through and really just eat all my bait, and then I can't catch hogs in this trap. So what we're gonna do is, it's now November, it's legal trapping season for fur. That's what I was waiting on, because when I trap something, I wanna make sure I get the fur. What I'm gonna do is, I've got this have-a-heart trap here, and I like to use the have-a-heart traps when I can, because it actually gives me a chance to check out the specimen I've got, rather than, you know, I can decide if I'm gonna release it somewhere else or kill it and eat it or whatever. But what I'm using also is, I've got this corn right here. I'm gonna set this trap, put corn everywhere around this trap and in the big trap, because this trap I'm putting inside the big trap at the entrance. And let me just show you, this is how the have-a-heart trap works. This is this one. If you look, it's actually been through better days. I've rigged it back up and fixed it. That actually happened one night. I think it was a raccoon, but it found its way out of there. It actually disassembled the cage for me and found its way out of the trap. But another good reason to check first thing in the morning, first light, check your traps. But you got a little device here. You just lift that up. Then you can push this back, lift this part up, and then it just slides back just like that. And then over here on the side, you'll see, well, actually, let me turn it this way so you can see this better. On this rickety trap, you got this little thing right here. You've got to line it up and hook it inside. Well, there we go. You got to hook it inside that little hook right there. So with this one, it's a little rickety. Now, you can hook it all the way, as tight as you can get it, or you can do like I like to do with a little hair trigger and just kind of halfway set it where it'll barely hang on. That's about as good as it's going to get. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that, where one little bump and it'll go, and we'll have something in here tomorrow. I guarantee you down here we'll have a raccoon. We'll at least have a possum in here tomorrow. All right, now I got it in there set up, but I'm fixing to have to crawl back in there because I don't want to leave that corn on top of the trap like that. With a hair trigger set, that means that something could be, instead of going in the cage, it might want to go. I'm just going to go back in here and check this out. Make sure I get all the corn off the top of it so that I can hopefully convince anything that wants in here to not, instead of, you know, I'm just going to release it right now. There we go. That gets that corn off the top there. And then we'll just reset it, because, and the other thing, you want to make sure you don't get anything in the way of the action of your trigger. That way, whenever it decides to snap, you don't have like this post over here blocking it. All right, now it's set on a hair trigger. You can see right there, it's just barely hanging on right there. And you're it's in the top right corner right now. You can see that lever just barely hanging on. Now I'm gonna back out of here however I can. And see, I got a little trail. You can see a little corn trail there that's gonna lead right up into there. And it isn't good to make promises and guarantees in hunting and trapping, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, I feel quite confident about there being an animal in there tomorrow. So I'll see you in about 12.5 hours. It's not the next morning now. It's been 3 days and I haven't caught anything in that little trap. So what I did was I actually just moved the trap out of the big trap so that I could start setting the big trap for hogs, because if nothing's gonna go in there, then I can start trapping for hogs. Yeah, I know I got bird crap on the window. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go down and check the hog trap, and that little trap was still set. So we're gonna go check it down here as soon as we get down into down by the creek here. Usually you're in for a treat whenever I forget to bring my gun, and I got up and took off and didn't bring a gun or anything. So just the way luck has it with my hunting skills, it seems like if I don't bring a gun, there's usually something there that's just waiting for me to shoot it. So it'll probably wave at us and laugh if we see something good. Anyway, I don't think anything too much is going to happen because you can see somebody came along with us. Alright, we got us a raccoon here. Of course, the big trap wasn't sprung. So there's still actually some corn in there, so obviously something didn't go. But it's probably going to be a slow go this year. Either way, we got this little fella here. Alright, so we're about to take off here. I've got him in this cage, but what I wanted to talk to you about right quick is the have a heart trap and some proper etiquette with that, because what's going to happen here is there's two choices. I can either dispatch this animal or I can release him somewhere so that he can live out a full life and be out of my way. But what are you really doing with a have a heart trap if you think about it? Whenever you take this animal and relocate him, if he's a problem for you, you're just relocating him and making him somebody else's problem. And yeah, you don't want to do that to your neighbors, but so what's the next step? Do you take them out past the point of where it's not your neighbors? Because you're still screwing somebody over if you just dump them out on somebody's property, or on even on a, like if it's a park, if you were to take them to a park somewhere, that's something that's going to get into somebody's tent or their camping food and stuff like that, or trash can. You can only overpopulate an area so much, so you just have to keep in mind whenever you're dealing with these, how much are you, whenever you trap something, how much are you affecting the ecosystem? And you know, what is your plan for being done with this animal and how you're going to affect all that? As far as raccoons go, there's plenty of raccoons. Anybody who lives in a city knows that a city is overrun with raccoons. They have them getting their trash all the time and stuff like that. So it's not a loss. It's not like this is something that's going to go extinct anytime soon. I think I'm going to just dispatch him and make as much food as I can, and then I'll have a hide. And you know, it's never a pleasant deal to kill an animal out of the wild, but this is one that was going to make it where I could never catch a hog and interfere with my trapping all the time. So I think it's better off just to let him, you know, let him go. Just if you wanted some science about raccoons, 300 acres is about their radius. That's where they'll live. So there's probably a lot more of these, but as long as they'll stay out of my hog trap, that's what really counts. So you can see he's pretty chill. Nobody likes to see a little raccoon, friendly raccoon, go down, but I can tell you right now, he is ferocious. If you get near him, he was even trying to attack me through the cage while I was picking it up. That's it for this episode, and I will hopefully have some pigs trapped soon, and I'll make a video about that. So y'all have a good day, and be sure and like and subscribe, or put any comments you want below.